Hey, everybody, welcome to the SOS Small Business Success Podcast. Glad to be here today. It's spring, it's beautiful, all the leaves are back on the tree, the sky is blue, everybody's getting vaccinated. Uh, COVID seems to be kind of in check. The world seems to be coming back to peace, and I'm happy. Today, I'm happy. I had my sisters in town this past weekend too, and seeing family and being able to spend some time together and reduce some of the everyday stresses that have been going on certainly has made me feel better and give me hope again. You know, I really am at the point where hope is on the way. So welcome aboard to the SOS podcast. I'm your host, Bonnie Bonadeo, and we're all about building brands that survive while developing people, you, to thrive. So that's kind of how this works. All of these things help to build your brand, whether it's building your brand to accelerate sales, to be able to be seen as a more professional, to be able to be more connected in your community, to have awareness that people know that you exist. These are all brand identity opportunities. Of course, we have to be able to develop you to be able to understand, implement, put into action, learn new skills in regards to marketing and branding so that you can be more successful. And the SOS coaching program and podcast is designed around what we say is it's if you find specific strategic opportunities, you will have success. There's the SOS for you. And then, of course, we apply all of this to what we call the SUM strategy for success. And it's looking at 5 key areas in your business, okay? 5 key areas, whether your business is small, large, or medium, okay? Whether you're a one-person business or whether you have multiple entities and employees, these 5 areas are the areas that you want to look at. And you're going to focus on a couple of them really deeply, but you're not going to neglect any one of them at all. Some of them you might be surface connected, some of them you might be deeply connected to. And those 5 areas are sales, operations, mindset, marketing, and education. And if you look at each of those 5 areas, you'll be able to see that you can't have sales unless you have some good operational strategies in place. You're not going to have sales if your mindset is not in place. You're not going to have sales if you don't understand some of the basic elements of digital marketing today. And you may not have sales if you don't understand that sales is nothing more than educating your consumer, okay? Or even educating your team at this point. And today we are going to be talking about education. It is our topic of the day, and the title is Sea legs and language. I don't know how many of you have been on a boat or a cruise, been on a catamaran or, been on a speedboat, whatever it is. But there is a point that, when the boat is in motion, because it's always in motion, when it's on water, it's always in motion. You can be anchored, you can be moored, but the boat is still moving. And what you have to do is you have to adapt some sea legs to being able to keep yourself in check and to be able to stay balanced on everything. The other thing that's really interesting about the boat life is that there is its own unique language. And one of the reasons, as you guys may have known, if you're listening to me on a regular basis, thank you for listening to me on a regular basis, is how important language is. So boating and sailing, they have their own language. And when you start understanding and adapting to the language, then you can start understanding and adapting to the skills you need in order to be really good and safe on a boat. Just like, any industry or any, particular language that is adapted to an industry. But in this conversations that we have in the SOS, a lot of the conversations that we have are around just basic language of being able to communicate more effectively to get the results that you're looking for, okay? Communicate more effectively, get the results you're looking for. And what happens is it becomes a balancing act, okay? So not only having sea legs, it's about balancing, but also being able to communicate more effectively is about balancing in solutions that you can offer, problem-solving opportunities that you can provide, and what services and products you actually offer that are the solutions to people's problems, your particular ideal customer's problems. And it's a combination of what I call this emotional intelligent mix. It's heart and soul, okay? Heart and soul, which I say is always about branding. Branding is always about the heart and soul of you and that connection you want with your audience. And systems and applications, how you're going to make it easier and more streamlined for a customer to say yes. This also would apply if you're in a leadership position and you have conflict conversations happening and you want them resolved. It's the same philosophies to sell as it is to reduce conflict, as it is to solve problems. All of that is kind of the same language if you look at it. And it really is the foundation of an emotional, intelligent person, and how much emotional intelligence plays into the role of this. So when we're talking about this balancing act, we really want to be able to talk about it from a place of we're balancing between emotions, specific communications, okay, communication strategies, communication skill set, communicative words, and systems that you have in place in order to get to yes faster than ever. Okay, that's ultimately your goal, right? Is to be able to get to yes as fast as you can. So if you are, and again, I do a lot in beauty and wellness here, and I appreciate anybody that's outside of beauty and wellness that listens to my podcast. But, if you're a service-based business, so, hair, skin, massage, restaurant, doctors, these type of things, dry cleaners even, okay? If you're a service-based business, you want to be able to have people do business with you. So you want to get to yes as quickly as possible. Now, I see a lot of times that people have policies, and of course, 2020 was the year of policy. We plastered all over our doors, all over our websites, all over our faces what our policies were. Wear a mask, you must not have a cough or a fever to enter our building. And policy became a really big conversation. Now, of course, it kept us safe and it was all designed, to do that. But at this point now, we need to kind of like go back to humanity. We need to go back to compassion and empathy. And that's what our conversation is today. I'm going to share with you guys, and I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again, is the 3C formula. So emotion, how are we going to express emotion? Okay, so emotion is how you feel, all right? So when somebody's trying to connect with you, or somebody has a problem that needs to be solved, or somebody wants to do business with you and they're posing, what they need from you, sometimes we can get emotionally charged by these things, all right? And so we have to be able to express how we feel. Then the communication is, how are you expressing how you feel in a way that is connecting with them and not creating them to get hijacked or charged up. Okay, you want to connect with them in a way that allows it to be kind of emotion free. Okay, even though you're being authentic and you're creating an emotional connection, you don't want it to be, a high emotion moment. Okay. And then there's another misspelled word. I'm so good at that. And then systems, of course, is how you communicate and overcome objections to solve problems. The systems you have in place are designed to be able to really narrow in on how you communicate, overcome objections, and solve problems. Okay. And when you understand those elements, emotions, communications, and systems, you can be way more effective about solving people's problems really fast. So here's the 3C formula that I want you guys to learn. I want you to practice, and I want you to apply it. All right. So the first thing is connection. And we just talked a little bit about that. How do you connect with somebody? The second thing is compassion. How do you relate to somebody? And the third thing is curiosity. How do you get enough information from that person in order to get to yes? Okay, in order to get to yes, which would be kind of your system. In other words, they're saying yes to the way that you're doing business. They're saying yes to your price. They're saying yes to your offer. They're saying yes to the product that you are saying is going to solve their problem. Okay, and how we get through that to that point of curiosity is definitely, creating kind of a sales technique. So let's talk about connection first. This is probably the most missed piece in the majority of communications that we have. So I just got a text from a friend I haven't heard from in a while, but it's okay. Like, there's been a lot going on, and because I haven't been able to see people on a regular and ongoing basis, you kind of lose contact a little bit. So the text came through with a question right away asking for something, but followed by a text that said, oh, by the way, good morning. Okay. And I love that he was aware of that. I love that he wanted information from me. We hadn't spoken in a while, came across as a text. He realized that he kind of missed the connection piece and was just looking for an answer. Okay. But then said, good morning. So of course I replied back with, good morning. How are you? This is what I know. Okay. And then provided them with the answer. And then we dialogued for a little bit more to be able to get through that. Because this is so missing, you guys, I want you to know that what happens when you don't create that immediate connection, it feels like you're being taken advantage of. It feels like you're being used. It feels like people don't care. And we have to bring care back into our communications. And the way to do that is to connect with people, to acknowledge them. Okay. So it's very simple. Hi, hello, thanks for reaching out. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It's been a while. How have you been? Anything like that. It doesn't have to be a long, drawn out thing. Hi is a way of creating connection with people. Okay. It's as simple as that. But what happens is that you have all these texting back and forth that's happening in communications, and clients trying to get booked appointments, or clients trying to figure out what they need to do for their hair. And what happens is we have no form of acknowledgement or connection happening. Okay. All right. So here's an example in connection. Let's say that a client, and I got another example to show you guys in the end too. Let's say that an example comes through where a client says, hi, you know what? I'm so unhappy with my hair. I've been crying all night. Okay. All right. So what I want you to do is I do not want you to go into connection as the first thing that you do by apologizing. Connecting and apologizing kind of creates a weird byproduct to effective communication. When you're apologizing, you're pretty much saying, I screwed up, you're right, I'm wrong. Okay. So don't say you're sorry. Say, thanks for reaching out. Thanks for your patience and letting me get back to you. I appreciate you contacting me. Anything else but I'm sorry, because what's that saying is I'm open to hearing what is going on. I'm aware you're unhappy, but I don't know what the solution is yet to fix this problem. But I'm just acknowledging that you're unhappy and that there is a problem. Okay? No blame, no, I'm wrong, you're right, you're wrong, I'm right. No starting out with, well, you said you wanted a little bit more of this, or you stated that this, or I told you that. That goes right into blame. And then what that does is it jacks up any effective communications that you have. So, don't try to fix or solve the problem in the very first line of your communication. Create a pleasantry, create a connection. Okay, that's it. It's simple. Don't complicate this. Okay. The second thing is compassion. So this is the second C, compassion. What are they asking? And can you say yes immediately? So if they're asking something, let's say it's, hi, I was wondering if I could get it on Thursday. Can it be a yes? And if it's a yes, you still want to say, hey, how are you? Thursday would be great. I have 2 or 4 o'clock. Which one would you prefer? Do you see? I just did the 3C formula right there in that. And then they're going to say, oh, 2 o'clock's perfect. Thanks so much. See you then. Okay, that's how quick and effective this can all be. But when they're asking something, if you can, excuse me, it's a beautiful day out there, but my allergies are kicking in. When they're asking you a question and you can get to an immediate yes, get to that immediate yes in a connective, compassionate way, all right? And then you saw that I did the curiosity on the end. So is there a system that can help them get to this connection faster? In other words, if you could say, yes, I think I have some Thursday openings, please go to my my online booking link here, or please come in between 2 and 4, or absolutely, I can take that reservation for you, whatever it is that you can get to yes. If there's an automated way to do it, provide them the automated way to do it, because this is then teaching them how to be in business with you, teaching them how to do business with you, okay? You want something that's going to take as little time as possible, and you want it to have like certain timelines on it. In other words, you don't want to be like, I don't know if I'm open on Thursday. Okay, don't reply to the text if you don't have an answer that can get to yes. Reply to it when you can and just say, thanks for your patience. Yes, it does look like Thursday's open. Like, do it at a later time where you could do the due diligence that you need to get them to yes faster. And if you can't say yes at all, so if the answer is I don't know or no, then educate them on why, or refer them if it means that you can't get to it, okay? Whatever that is, refer them to be able to do that, all right? Now, compassion is about buy-in. It's really creating that sticky moment of getting to yes because you've sold them on something. They're bought into what's next. And then the third part is curiosity. So the third C is curiosity. And curiosity is the call to action. It's really cementing the deal, creating the final piece for business to be had, for this action to convert to currency, all right? So, but sometimes we don't have enough information to say yes. And then what you might look at is, do you need more information? And if you need more information, then you definitely have to apply the third C, which is curiosity. And of course, that would be asking a question. And when you ask a question, you want to be careful of how you're asking the question, because is it a yes/no question? And is that going to be enough information? If they say yes, but you have to ask another question, then don't ask a yes and no question, all right? If it's a multiple choice question and they have to choose between A or B, that could get to yes faster. Or if you really need a whole lot more information, it would be an open-ended question. I don't have anything this week. Would next week work for you? So that's kind of like a yes and no question. Or I have Thursday of next week to be able to offer. It's kind of an open-ended question. Does that work for you type of thing? All right. So think about the question that you're asking in this third element here of the 3C formula. Do you have enough information to them to get to yes? And if you don't, then you have to ask a question, because ultimately what you want is you want to get to the action, okay, of it being a yes and you being a yes, that them saying yes and you saying yes, all right? So it's that call to action that is critical for you to be able to do business. Now, I see a lot of times in the beauty industry where people are texting back and forth, texting back and forth, texting back and forth. And I can tell you the reason why you're texting back and forth 100 times is because you did not use this formula. You did not acknowledge them. Okay, you didn't create the connection on the front end. Secondly, you're not compassionate towards what the problem is. And third, you're not asking the right questions. You might be asking questions, but you're not asking the right questions. Or you're just trying to be right, which is making them wrong. So here's an example. And again, I'm going to use the beauty industry as an example here. So the client says this, hey, I'm not happy with my hair color. Now, you know who this client is, and you know that you just did him yesterday, and you know what the conversation was, and you could rehearse it probably verbatim in this moment. So you have to, but do you have enough information as to why they're not happy with it? Maybe not. Okay. Maybe they say, maybe it's like, it's not blonde enough or whatever, but we'll get into that. So the first thing you're going to do if this is going to be a text or even a phone call formula is you're going to be like, hi, so-and-so. So let's say her name is Sally. Hi, Sally. Thanks for reaching out. You've done one, you've acknowledged connection. You've done two, you were compassionate by saying thank you for reaching out. Okay. So now you've set the tone to be able to solve the problem. You could go into right into three, which is curiosity. May I ask what you're unhappy with? Okay. So then they reply back and say, it's not as blonde as I like it. I know you wanted to add in some dark, but I don't like it. Okay. So then you're going back to the formula, C1, I understand, because now you have enough information to determine why she's unhappy. We can certainly add more blonde, okay, would be creating that compassionate part. And then C3, the curiosity piece, is I have an opening on Tuesday or Wednesday. What is better? Oh, Wednesday's great. Thank you. See you then. Boom. Just like that, you could fix this, okay? Now, I understand that this is just an example, and sometimes people spend a lot more time wanting to give a whole lot more information. But if you stick to this formula, if you apply and you stick to this formula, you'll see how much more effective your communications will be, okay? And how much more compassionate they are, and how much more your clients will appreciate you. So when you get your 3C legs, okay, you're going to be way more confident in getting the results that you want. And of course, the results that they want. All right. Try this out. Try it. Connection, compassion, curiosity. Acknowledge, be nice. Okay. Be aware, be nice, and ask more questions. Because we all know that words matter right now. I mean, look at how many things have been politically incorrect over the last couple of years, and how we're changing the way that we're communicating things. Okay, so words matter. Words matter in how they trigger certain responses or how they create reactions in people. And connection, compassion, and curiosity will always keep the interaction in check. In other words, what you want to do is you want to be authentic and emotionally connected to the situation, but you don't want to increase your emotions to where they become reactionary, and then you don't get the results that you want. Now, I get you guys, I get that this is never easy to do, and that every client and every situation is an exception to any rule that you're talking about. But I promise you it's not if you really apply the 3C formula to more of your communications on a regular basis. Now, if you need help in any one of the 5 strategy areas that we talk about here with the SOS coaching program, and that is sales, operations, mindset, marketing, and education, set up a free coaching session with me to be able to find out how I can help you communicate more effectively, get systems in place, grow your business, grow your brand, be more profitable, because we're developing you. So if it's time to get the support that you need, don't hesitate to set up a free session with me. And you can do that going to SOSSaloncoaching.com, SOSSaloncoaching.com, because sometimes your business needs you to grow first, right? All right, guys, thanks for joining me with the SOS Small Business Success Coaching program and podcast. We'll see you next week.